All right, what's up everybody? A long time no see. It's Ethan here, back again for another video. And this time I am in Utah. First time being back here in southern Utah in quite a while, almost a year. And I am parked here near next to the trailhead for Bell and Little Wildhorse Canyon in the San Rafael Swell area, right outside of Goblin Valley State Park. I'm not doing Bell and Little Wildhorse. I'm actually doing Ding and Dang slot canyons. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I already did these two canyons and already posted a video of it last, I believe it was last May. But I am back to do it again because the last time I was out here, there was like 1,000 BYU, Brigham Young University college students in that canyon. So I'm hoping that it won't be quite as crowded this time. I can tell you that the Bell and Little Wildhorse trailhead is not very crowded, and that's definitely the more popular of these two hikes. So the reason I didn't go straight to the Ding and Dang trailhead is because, as you can see, the road leading to the trailhead, which is just a wash, is washed out. It is quite a mess right now. Muddy, huge ruts. I got right to this spot right here and I was like, yep, there's no way that my car is making it through there. And so I decided to park and just walk the last mile to the trailhead. I mean, it's just a mile of walking on, walking through this wash. So it doesn't really add much in the way of difficulty to this hike. But anyway, I'll get back to you guys a little further ahead when I get to the actual trailhead. Okay, well, the entire rest of that road was totally dry. So it's really just the first like 200 yards. So just know, if you can make it past that first like 200 yards of this road, then you're good to go. Because, yeah, the rest of it is completely dry. I have all-wheel drive, so I probably would have been able to push through the mud, but I just didn't think my clearance was high enough. So, and honestly, every other vehicle, I've only seen like 2 other vehicles back here so far, but they've both been, high clearance 4-wheel drive SUVs. So I definitely think it was the right call to just walk it. But anyway, I'm at the trailhead and there's only one car here, in sharp contrast to the last time I was here where it looked like a Walmart parking lot. So yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so I'm officially starting on the hike, and it's about a mile from the trailhead here to get into Ding Canyon, and I think it's another half, 3/4 of a mile from when you enter the canyon to when you get to the first slot. So can't wait. All right, well, it's a little further in than I remember, but at about 1.5 miles from the trailhead, you get to the split for Ding and Dang. So Dang is that way, Ding is that way. And it's highly recommended that you go up Ding and down Dang and not vice versa. I mean, you can go whatever way you want, but just know that Dang is a pretty difficult slot canyon, especially for like a novice canyoneer. So it is better to go down than up. It's just easier to, be doing down climbs rather than up climbs. And there are definitely some, decent down climbs going through there. So Ding is a pretty easy canyon. There's some scrambling and stuff like that involved, but you'll see when I get there, Dang is on a whole different level compared to Dang. But so yeah, if you're doing this hike and you find Ding to be even like moderately difficult, I would recommend just, you know, going back through Ding and not trying to do Dang. Because there also is a certain point in Dang Canyon, just like with a lot of slot canyons, where you're kind of past the point of no return. So, you know, you don't want to end up being in a situation where you're, you know, stuck and, you know, can't muster up the courage or willpower to continue up or down canyon. All right, so this is the first little point of interest you get to in Ding Canyon before you even get to where the slots are. You got to do a little bit of scrambling up this ramp. It's not bad at all. As long as your shoes have decent traction, you can mostly just walk up the thing, as I'm doing. But don't worry, it definitely gets more spicy than this further in. But I'm officially getting into Ding Canyon. Here's the first real area of interest, a little dry fall. You can actually bypass it if you want by climbing up these rocks, but you can also just climb straight up and, you know, kind of just choose your adventure here. Pretty cool. All right, after minimal challenges, you get into the first slot here in Ding Canyon. And the further you go in, it gets more narrow. There's a couple of, if I remember, there's a couple of minor obstacles in the slot in Ding, but it's not too bad. I will say I already saw a couple of small pools of standing water before I even got to the slot part, which probably doesn't bode well for how much water is going to be in the slots, especially in Dang. So we'll see. Some cool narrows already. It's been a long time since I've been in a slot canyon. I missed it. If you've never done this before, slot canyons are so much fun, and there's a lot out here in Utah that are pretty easy to start with. And as you can see, some water. Let's see how I get through here. Well, there's definitely a lot more water in Ding this time than there was the last time I was here. Actually, it's making it more of a challenge than it was the last time, which likely means that Dang will also be even harder than it was the last time. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, still having fun though. It's a beautiful, beautiful hike going through these canyons. Always is a good time. This is definitely one of the more notable obstacles I've seen in Ding Canyon thus far. A little tiny pool of water there, but nothing bad. Let's see how this up climb goes. Looking down Ding Canyon. Very, very beautiful. I gotta tell you though, Ding was a little more difficult than I remember. I definitely underestimated how hard it would be. I mean, it wasn't like that bad, but it was definitely harder than I remember. And one thing I remember for certain is that Dang Canyon is a lot harder. So the fact that I had even a little bit of a struggle with Dang is making me a little nervous. We'll see. Nice big pool of water in that pothole there. That is really deep, actually. Doesn't it look refreshing? A nice slime green color. That's what desert water looks like. All right, well, I'm at the end of Ding Canyon. So here you'll see a fork, and you actually want to go left. There's a little trail, a little kind of a social trail right there that you're going to want to take, and that'll take you over to Dang Canyon. This way, you just end up, you know, just hiking in a wash. And you can actually access behind the Reef Road by hiking up this wash. The road is just up there. It's like a little dirt road that runs on the other side of the San Rafael Swell. So it's not marked, but you can access Ding and Dang canyons from that direction as well. But anyway, just gonna hike this short little trail and connect over to Dang Canyon. And that right there is perhaps the weirdest name for a rock formation ever, Ding Dang Dome. They ran out of like clever names. So they were like, well, what should this canyon be called? Ding. And the other one, Dang. And what about this big rock formation in between them? Ding Dang. Like, okay. That's all we got. All right, I'm heading into Dang Canyon right now. I'm in the wash that leads into the canyon. So the trail is not well marked, but it was definitely obvious enough that I was able to follow it. Last time I was here, I remember there being a lot of rock cairns, and you know, the trails were pretty clearly marked, and it seems like a lot of that stuff is gone at the moment. I don't know, I guess it just kind of gets washed away and whatever during the time where I guess you consider it the off season, where not a lot of people are hiking slot canyons. And it's kind of the tail end of that season right now. I mean, a month from now, I'm sure there's no way that you could be here on a Saturday like I am and be hiking completely by yourself. But for now, I'll enjoy it. Now, let's see how crazy Dang Canyon gets, because like I said, I do remember it being pretty intense in a few sections, and I can tell you for certain that because of how much water was in Ding, there's going to be a lot of water going through this slot. So let's see what happens. Well, this gives you just a little idea of how powerful flash floods are and why you should not be in a canyon if there's any chance of that. You could see, I mean, this is literally an entire tree, fairly large tree, that was ripped out by the roots, it looks like. And I mean, it was carried all the way into here until it was blocked by these giant boulders. But yeah, I mean, this is clearly from here because, or in here from a flash flood. So like I said, don't, like, unless the weather looks like this, then don't do it. Just wait for another day. And it would appear that I'm coming up to the first, oh, I thought this was an obstacle, but it's not really. It's just a little tiny ramp, but it's definitely starting to get narrow. Okay, so I have gotten through the easy part of Dang Canyon, and now I'm getting to the spicy stuff here. This is definitely going to be, that's a pretty intense down climb. So you can see they do have hand lines here, and the last time I was here, that hand line was there was a different hand line, but you know, it seems like people come through here and constantly replace the hand lines. There's like 3 spots in the canyon where they have one, and in my experience, they were safe to use. Make sure you double check, especially if you're out here by yourself, or if you're out here and it seems like not a lot of other people have been here in a while. That could mean that the hand line hasn't been replaced in a while, so just make sure it's not frayed or anything like that. And you know, I personally would always bring your own rope when you come to a canyon like this, because you know you're going to need hand lines in at least a couple of spots. I mean, unless you're like just a complete animal, you're probably going to want to use a hand line for a couple of spots, this definitely being one of them. And if you don't have anything and you come here and you see, oh, this hand line is, damaged, or one of them's missing or something like that, then you're just screwed and you have to, turn around. So, I would definitely recommend bringing a hand line, your own hand line, just in case. But like I said, they usually do have one in all the spots you need them. I hear people up ahead too, so looks like those people that I saw at the trailhead, I might be catching up to them. Let's see. It wouldn't surprise me, because everyone goes really slow through this part of Dang Canyon, because you have to. It takes a lot of care to go through this section. Anyway, let me get my nuts together and climb down this first crazy section here. Okay, so that looks a lot worse from up there than it actually is. You can see, so that's a really crappy hand line. That's literally just like a strap. It's not even really like tied in to the carabiner up there. So I definitely didn't feel very comfortable using it, but I did kind of just have one hand on it just in case. But yeah, you can see there's tons of holds, hand and foot holds there. And at first it kind of looked like it was just like nothing. Like it was just like an abyss, but it's not bad. There is one spot up here, I do remember this, that is going to be nuts. But let's check it out. All right, well, get into the slot portion now, and you get a little bit of a reprieve after a couple of difficult down climbs. But you're definitely not out of the woods yet. Matter of fact, the hardest is yet to come. So at this point, if you found those first couple of big obstacles back there to be like really pushing the limit for you, then just turn around, because what's up ahead is much more difficult and not for the faint of heart. So like I said, if you kind of feel like you went through those, that first area with the hand line and whatever else, and you're just like, you know what, that was kind of past pushing my limits a little bit, then like I said, that would be a good place to call it a day and turn back and go back down Dang. Okay, so I just met some cool people. But anyway, this is the most significant down climb. It's about like 15 feet, so it's not too bad, but there's really not any good hand or footholds. It's pretty slick rock, but they do have this, I know the sun's glaring, so it's hard to see, but they do have this hand line right here. And this one, unlike the one up further ahead, is very sturdy. So I use this, and it helps a lot. I mean, honestly, you could even up climb using that hand line. I've done it before. But yeah, that is definitely the sketchiest down climb on the route. But I was informed by that group of people that were coming up the canyon that there is going to be some water up ahead, which was expected. But either way, they said it was about waist deep, so I'm gonna have to do some stemming or some wading. We'll see what happens. Man, I was freaking lied to. I was wondering why there wasn't any water at the bottom of that down climb over there, and it's because that wasn't the down climb I remembered. It's this one. This is the one. This one, I remember, this is the biggest drop for sure. And when you drop, you go down to water. And yeah, this is the area where there's like the waist deep water and the big drop. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I remember, like I down climbed that spot, and I was like, that was way easier than I remember it being. And then I come up on this and I'm like, oh, well, there we go. That explains that. So Anyway, I was lied to. I guess that's my fault for thinking that I was free and clear when I clearly wasn't, but whatever. So I will be going down this section here. I've already kind of given this hand line a test. This one is secured pretty well. So, and it's, yeah, I mean, so the last time I did this, what I actually did is I just started stemming from up here, but I'm not going to do that because I remember it freaked me the fuck out because I got to a spot somewhere out there where I was like, you know, really high up on the canyon walls, and I felt like I was kind of stuck and that there was no way that I could get out of that position without, you know, falling. So I'm not trying to do that to myself again. So like I said, I'm going to drop down to there and I will attempt to stem across it. And if I fall in the water, at least I'll only be falling from a few feet instead of from, you know, 10, 15 feet up. But I hope I don't fall in that water because it's going to be cold and it's definitely like probably about waist deep. Well, there's the down climb. Once again, overhyped it in my head. I mean, it is a tough down climb. It is definitely a little freaky if you haven't done anything like that before, but it's not bad. And anyway, here I am stemming with my trekking poles in my face. You can see I'm perched up here so that I don't fall into the water below, the waist deep water. But I feel like I've got at least 3 water crossings like this, so we'll see if my my leg and arm muscles hold up through all of these pools of water. We'll see what's up. So pretty much immediately after getting through that first part right there, you have another little easily jumpable pool of water, and then you get to the next real water spot. So I will say I almost fell into the water right at the end there because the walls got super wide right at the end. So hopefully the walls don't get too wide on this one. We'll see. Honestly, my technique was probably leaving a lot to be desired. I haven't done this in a while, so. But anyway, this should be, I don't know if it's the last, but it's either the last or second to last, like, technical-ish section of this canyon. If I remember correctly, once you get out of the slot, you're pretty much just back in a wash again. It's not much of a canyon after that. But anyway, keep going. All right, well, I didn't know if that was the last one or not, but it looks like there's 2 more before you get out of the slot. So I have successfully not dunked myself waist or chest deep in water yet. So that's something to be proud of. And you can see there's this little drop here, about a 10-foot drop. And then there's another drop up there. And it looks like you come out of the slot right after that second drop down over there. So we'll see. This one definitely isn't too bad. Only about a 10-foot drop, some decent holds. So we'll see what that last one looks like. And that'll be it. I'll be out of the slot. Okay, well, there actually isn't a second drop, but there's one last section of water. So a little bit more stemming, and then you can see the exit out of the slot right there. And by the way, when you're going through areas like that, it made me want to remind anybody watching this who's thinking about doing a slot canyon, do not wear a t-shirt or shorts unless you want to have a bad day. The less exposed skin you have going through a slot canyon, the better. Some people even like to wear gloves. I personally like gripping the rock with my bare hands. But yeah, definitely wear long pants and a long sleeve shirt or like some kind of, you know, outerwear thing, something, because your arms and legs will get so scraped up on the sandstone. I mean, you'll just be shredded by the time you come out of some of these more narrow slots. But anyway, gonna keep going and get out of this canyon. Just trying to muster up the strength necessary to do one last stem across this water. think I might have walked right past the trail split without even realizing it, or the wash split, I should say. So I'm pretty sure I'm just in the section of the wash before getting, you know, just before going through either of the canyons, before the loop starts. So, yeah. So I should have somewhere in the, I don't know, probably about a mile before getting back to the trailhead, which means of course it's about 2 miles to get back to my car, but not too long. And of course it's all easy hiking from here on out. Okay, well, I made it back to the trailhead. There's definitely a few more people here now than there was when I started. When I started, there was literally only one car here. I mean, this still isn't that many cars, honestly. Like, compared to what it was the last time I was here, this is like a 1/10 of the number of cars that were in the parking lot. So, yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And I mean, other than that one group of people who were really cool that I saw in Dang Canyon, everybody else, I only saw them when I had already gotten out of the slots and was just kind of walking down the wash back towards the trailhead. So really cool, lots of fun. It was definitely just as fun going through both of those canyons as I remember it being, and it was a little bit better of an experience this time just because there wasn't, you know, 100 college students screaming and yelling and blasting music while I was trying to climb through there. So that was definitely nice. Not to say anything bad about those college students I met the last time I was here, because they were actually really cool, but still. Anyway, so I will go ahead and spare you guys the details of the remaining hike back to my car down this you know, road that goes through this wash here, and just call it the end of the video now. So this ended up, it says that the loop is about 6 miles, but it was actually, according to my phone, it was a mile longer than that. So for me, this is going to end up being about a 9-mile round trip hike. And if you start from the trailhead, I would say expect just under 7 miles for the round trip distance. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys soon for another hiking adventure. All right, what's up everybody? A long time no see. It's Ethan here, back again for another video. And this time I am in Utah. First time being back here in southern Utah in quite a while, almost a year. And I am parked here near the, or next to the trailhead for Bell and Little Wildhorse Canyon in the San Rafael Swell area, right outside of Goblin Valley State Park. I'm not doing Bell and Little Wildhorse. I'm actually doing Ding and Dang slot canyons. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I already did these 2 canyons and already posted a video of it last, I believe it was last May. But I am back to do it again because the last time I was out here, there was like 1,000 BYU, Brigham Young University college students in that canyon. So I'm hoping that it won't be quite as crowded this time. I can tell you that the Bell and Little Wildhorse trailhead is not very crowded, and that's definitely the more popular of these 2 hikes. So the reason I didn't go straight to the Ding and Dang trailhead is because, as you can see, the road leading to the trailhead, which is just a wash, is washed out. It is quite a mess right now. Muddy, huge ruts. I got right to this spot right here and I was like, yep, there's no way that my car is making it through there. And so I decided to park and just walked the last mile to the trailhead. I mean, it's just a mile of walking on, you know, walking through this wash. So it doesn't really add much in the way of difficulty to this hike. But anyway, I'll get back to you guys a little further ahead when I get to the actual trailhead.